Hi and welcome to your Happiness Safari podcast, your podcast for a happier and more meaningful life. I'm your host, my name is Nadine, and I'm so happy you're here. During my travels, I met so many inspiring people, and I learned that everybody has their story. And I want to share all these stories with you. So, if you are at a place in your life where you're not as happy as you want to be, there are so many ways to change. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and I want to show you that light. So my first guest today is my dear friend Victoria from Hamburg, Germany. We met in London in 2018 after she came back to Europe after living in Singapore and Hong Kong for 5 years. Victoria inspired me to do this podcast, and that's why she's my first guest. Victoria shares how happiness to her is not a destination, but a journey. We also talk about the struggles during the pandemic and how she just decided to be happy. She is a very positive person. She has the ability to enjoy the little moments and live life to the fullest. So get comfortable and enjoy the first episode. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the first episode of my podcast, or welcome to be my first guest. Very excited to have you here.
It's my utmost pleasure, Nadine. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm great. I have to admit also I'm quite excited and really looking forward to have this discussion with you today.
Me too. I'm very
big topic.
Very excited. Yeah, I know. Happiness is a big topic, and we just discussed before. It's also very different to everyone. But before we get into the questions, maybe do you want to give the listeners a very quick introduction of yourself and just tell us who's Victoria?
Yes. So hi, my name is Victoria. I'm 30 years old. I'm born and raised in Germany. I've been traveling around the world. Like I've been living in 3 different countries, from Singapore to Hong Kong to UK, and now being back in Germany. So yeah, I think it was quite a journey, and obviously who knows where the next destination is going to lead me to.
That's true. So yeah, we also met in London, and that was also the time where I guess I got really into that topic of being happier, and where I thought of these questions, and we started just speaking about this podcast as well. So I'm again super excited to have you. And yeah, let's get started with the first question. So what does happiness mean to you?
It's such a funny question, because obviously we all know somewhere what happiness is, but I have to admit, for me, I really had to sit down and actually define it for myself. And after, and it's funny because there's so much literature about it, and so many different definitions, and somewhere you can't really define it as a whole. So basically, I thought about when I think of happiness, it's something as a it's not a destination, it's the journey. So each time when you evolve, when your life changes, also maybe the term of happiness can change for you. For example, right now, happiness for me means, being home, being with my family, being healthy. I have to admit, like back a couple of years ago, healthiness, especially now during the pandemic, obviously, you're young, you're in your mid-20s, healthiness is something that was never a question for me. So, being also not cautious, what I wanted to say is being aware. I think once you are having the awareness of what happiness means to you, you start to really live your life in happiness.
Yeah.
And one thing for sure, what I also discovered for myself, is that happiness can really be a choice. It's a choice that you can set up for yourself, because obviously in life is throwing sometimes little stones for you to grow.
Yeah.
And you can choose to be happy. And what is also important is that you start to learn to reframe when you have these little stones in your way, to reframe and make your way through them. I think this is one big lesson learned that I had actually in the past year, that, you know, each time you can choose to be happy, even though you have a little downfall. And again, I think the downfalls that you have in life are there, you know, to for yourself to personally grow. So eat those little stones in life.
Nice. Do you remember when you had maybe the first time, like the epiphany that happiness is a choice or a decision?
Actually, yes, I have to admit, I mean, I don't want to sound cheesy now, but I think you were the one who actually planted the seed, literally.
Really?
Yeah. No, now we discover some things about ourselves, huh? Yeah, but I thought about it, and I think this is also so wonderful, you know, to talk about this topic, because yeah, like I never thought about it before. Like, is happiness really a choice? I always thought happiness is a moment, you know, you experience something, but if you choose it, if it's a choice, again, you are creating awareness for these moments. And I think when you create this awareness, you're much more sensitive to these, you know, happiness moments, and actually, you know, to the next question, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I just want to say that would lead us to the next question, which would be, what do you do to be happy? So would you say also being aware, basically?
Yeah, and this is so, like, you know, obviously, and this is so funny, because once you asked me this question for the time, I was like, I really needed to think about it. And I'm just like, why did I have to think about it? I mean, it should be something natural that you have. Like, of course, I know what makes me happy, but like, if somebody asked me like straightforward, I was like, wait, I need to think about it. And, you know, like, it was really weird. I'm like, shouldn't it be something so natural to say? I mean, of course, small things like I can shoot out, like eating ice cream makes me happy, but like, what is really essential, like things where I'm like making me profound happy. And I had to sit down and think about it, and really also write it out and like rethink it. And it was really, again, I would say, a journey to this list of happiness, like what things actually making me happy. And I would say, like, one of the top, I mean, on the top of the list would be quality time with my loved ones. Also, recently I rediscovered quality time with myself.
Nice.
This is also something total new to me. I'm a person who's all the time, you know, needing action, and I can't sit home. So especially during the pandemic, it was really, really difficult for me. And I also felt like I actually, in the beginning, felt very unhappy, because, you know, you didn't have this quality time going out, traveling. Like, I love to travel. I think, you know, if you go on travels, you learn new people, you learn new cultures, food, like, you know, this gives in my life, like, you know, being able to be free. And again, now speaking of reframing from the first question, like, I learned to reframe the happiness. So of course, I still would love to travel, and I'm looking forward to travel, because this is something that makes me super happy. But you can reframe happiness also by, okay, I actually also quite enjoy being home now, and, you know, start to cook. Now that you can also meet people again, like do new recipes, and, you know, invite people over, do little home parties. You know, I think this is also the part of the journey. So happiness is the journey. Things are changing, but so now coming to the pillars of like what makes me the most happy, I would say, is definitely like quality time. Oh, now we speak again. I need to have a little peek on my list again. You see, I mean, this is so weird. Like it should be, you know, shooting out. No, okay, no, I'm not looking anywhere. Actually, yoga makes me really, really happy. I think yoga is also part of my lifestyle. It allows me to reconnect with my body, soul, and also, you know, you just feel rejuvenated afterwards. You also have this yoga community. Like I'm so grateful and actually happy that I started my yoga journey because I met so many wonderful people. Also, what really, really makes me happy is if I have meaning, if I feel I make a difference, not only, I mean, you can name it in different dimensions, I would say, like whether it's at work, whether it's for my family, with my friends, or even for a stranger, you know, like I think what really makes me happy is like just walking around and giving another person a smile, you know, these are these things in life. And yeah, and I can also say what really makes me happy, my friends make me happy. I feel, and this is also something like happiness and gratitude, I think walks hand in hand. Like I'm so freaking grateful for my friends. I'm super grateful that I have you in my life. I am so grateful that I have so many people, wonderful people in my life that really, sometimes I'm just like, you know, waking up and just like, wow, like I don't need to be scared of anything. Like I have the best friends ever, like, you know. It's a very comforting and warm feeling that you have. And yeah, like obviously there are small things in life, like the smell of coffee in the morning, walking my dog, like speaking of awareness again, like these small things, once you are aware of these small things and practice this awareness of what makes you happy, your mindset can also change and you absorb it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely need to practice. You see, I mean, I couldn't shoot it as I wanted to. So yeah, I'm still practicing. So
no, it's very good and very interesting. And I think just coming back to what you said, because of the pandemic, would you say you basically change the focus of like what makes you happy, or did you actually and create more awareness and gratitude for the things you have, or did you also kind of consciously invited other things in your life which made you happy? Because for example, you couldn't travel anymore and you couldn't do, let's say, the big things, or maybe the obvious things.
No, interesting question. And yes, definitely I have to admit I had to reframe and like let other things come into my life. And also I think here I want to emphasize again the awareness thing. Like I had to, you know, just look internally and be like, okay, what things and what do I have already? And like at least me, I took so many things for granted, like, you know, having the freedom of moving around, having the freedom just yeah,
I think we all did.
yeah, like I don't know, like also health, you know, you don't, these are all things that I always took for granted. Like I never thought about it because it was always available.
Yeah.
And you know, the first shock of like not having something, of course, like you're like, oh, you know, you getting, I mean, I was aggravated by this whole pandemic. I'm like, how is it possible? You know, like we're I mean, yeah, you know, this whole situation, I know for all of us it was very, very, very difficult, but you know, instead of making us turning us into victims,
yeah,
again, the what we just were talking before, like instead of saying that, oh, why is this happening to me, I had to reframe it and say like, okay, I'm healthy, I'm blessed to be close to my family. I have so many friends that live abroad and couldn't see their families for almost, even until now, like for almost 2 years. And I was just like, wow, like who am I to even open up my mouth about, you know, being unhappy? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
it's
So would
actually,
you say, yeah, so would you say the biggest game changers were basically like awareness, but also gratitude for the things you had,
yeah, gratitude,
that you have?
things that you already have.
Yeah.
And I think this is really the game changer.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you so much for sharing.
Mm.
Then I guess we come to the last question, which is always my favorite because it's very different and very unique, I guess, and always yeah, there's some special answers. So I'm looking forward to yours. What would you say was the happiest moment of your life?
Oh, it's so hard because, to be honest, and this is the beauty about it, I have so many beautiful moments, and again, gratitude. Like, I feel so blessed by being able to say, like, wow, I mean, right now I could like pick and choose so many moments in my life that I really, really treasure. I always laugh that I'm like, okay, you know what, if tomorrow I fall, I drop that, man, I lived to the fullest, you know. There are no regrets, and I think this is the answer. Like, live to the fullest, write your bucket list, do your bucket list. For example, I have to say, in this year, one of my most beautiful moments was also to, you know, be able to co-host a yoga retreat in Kenya.
Oh,
So
nice.
I was able to travel for the first time this year, and I felt such a huge gratitude, you know, to be able to travel to see a great friend, you know, it was always also a little dream of mine, you know, to be a yoga teacher. So I'm certified yoga teacher, but I don't really have currently the time due to my full-time job to practice. And, you know, like, being able to have this little journey, I felt like, yeah, I moved mountains. So for this year, this was definitely one of my biggest highlights, to be able, you know, to, yeah, be a yoga teacher, to travel. I saw such a beautiful country, Kenya. Was the first time for me. It was also my bucket list to go to Africa. So I felt like I had tick offs just with one journey. I was like really mind blown. I was on the safari or Reno. I mean, you know, the food was wonderful. Like, it was a couple of months ago, this journey, and I'm still, you know, just thinking of it. Yeah, I mean, you can see my face. I mean, for the listeners, like, I think I'm smiling from ear to ear.
I think I can hear that.
No, it was yeah, I was just like, wow, thinking back, just the memories that I had there just fulfill me. Like, I really feel this warm feeling of gratitude, and like, so many things happen. Like, I literally, I don't need to watch a movie this evening. Like, I can just sit down and, you know, scroll through my pictures and be like, wow, what was happening? So many things were happening. Literally, I was there for 2 weeks. It felt like a year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, wonderful.
Wow. So what I basically hear is that you have so many beautiful memories. So I feel like you are living a very fulfilled life. So you're basically having lots of happiest moments kind of all the time. And also I think you're really, because you're a very positive person, and that's how I met you, and how yeah, you still to me kind of like every day. I think you really have the ability to also live these moments and enjoy them and make them very special. And also the little ones and the big ones. So I think that's very inspirational.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, guys. So get out there, your comfort zone, write that bucket list and live it.
Nice. Oh, no, that was amazing. So yeah, you put a big smile on my face as well. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast again. That was amazing to have you. And yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. And I mean, thanks to you, Nadine. And yeah, it was my pleasure and absolute honor. I hope I could give and spread some inspiration.
For sure. And keep living that happy life.
For sure. It's a yes.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Happiness Safari podcast. I have some exciting news for you. On the 1st of January, we are starting our 30-day happiness challenge. You'll receive every day a short task which will help you to reflect, grow, learn, reach your goals, and live a happier life. Please don't miss it and start your year in the most happy and positive way. All you have to do is to follow me on Instagram at NadineAnneYoga and follow the instructions there. Also in March, I'm hosting a yoga and coaching retreat in Diani Beach, Kenya, one of the most beautiful places in the world where you can relax, unwind, detox, practice yoga, meditation, and get some coaching input from me as well. It will be a week full of transformation. There are still a couple of places left. For more information, visit my website happiness-safari.com. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please go to iTunes and leave me a 5-star rating and a review. That would make me truly happy. For more information about me, the podcast, the retreat, how to connect with me on social media, or to find out more about one-on-one coaching, I will put all the links in the show notes for you. Don't forget, happiness is the only thing which doubles when you share it, so please share the podcast with your friends and help me to make the world a happier place. Be you, be free, be happy. Talk to you soon.